Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Michaela and this video is going to be explaining my brain tumor that I just got removed. The ghetto. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out in the first place because I don't want people to be scared and nervous and just like, I don't know, cringy about the entire thing. Because if this is something that you've had or something that you're experiencing right now and you don't feel like watching this video, like I completely understand. So I just wanted to make that, make that a thing so nobody has to worry about it. I graduated from NYU in May of 2019 and literally right after that I started to get these insane headaches like every single day, and it started on the right side of my head. Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, it started on the right side of my head. And I don't know, I just felt like I was stressed, like I just graduated, I didn't have a job, so I was just like, fuck, like I don't know what to do. So I thought that's why all my headaches, that's why they were coming, that's what I figured. And because of that I just sort of like let it fly. Like I don't get headaches at all, so the fact that I actually had headaches, that was like sort of like just scary to me. I was just like, I'm not like a person to get that, so it was just weird. And then like it stopped for like a month or something like that, and then it came back on the left side of my head, and then it came back way more intense. Like every day I used to get a headache, and sometimes it would come like one week and then the next week it wouldn't come, and then the week after that it would come. So my mind was sort of just like, what is happening? Like I really didn't know what the deal was at all. I was having headaches like every single day, and I was just like, okay, like this is just weird now. Like why am I getting headaches every single day? And I never had a headache any other time in my life. And I thought that the headaches were attached to my periods, but in December, like I said, I started to get headaches every single day, so I was just like, nah, something is not right. And in my head, I felt like something was in it. I felt like something was like moving, or I had some type of worms. I don't know what the case is. So after it got to that point, I was just like, okay, I need to go see a neurologist because there should be no reason why I'm having headaches for months. And I found a neurologist that was in Brooklyn. I'm based in Brooklyn. So I went to him and I had a conversation with him. It lasted maybe about like almost 2 hours. Like I talked with him for a very long time. But throughout that experience, it was just very detrimental. Like that's literally the only word that comes to my mind, because I was there and I was talking and I was talking, I was talking. He was just like, yeah, like it doesn't, like no. The first thing I told him is that like I got headaches every single day, and he gave me an array of different reasons of like why that could have been it. So the first reason was because he thought like I had like vision problems. I'm like, baby boo, I have 20/20 vision. It is not my vision problems. Like my vision, spectacular. And then he said it was probably like my sleeping schedule, because I do work at nights. Well, I used to work at nights. COVID, hey, working at night, like I still have enough time to sleep and eat and breathe and be a person. So I don't think that's what it is. Like I feel like something is in my head. And then I told him like an actual bump formed on my head during the summertime. That's another thing that happened in the summertime. Like my headaches got so intense that a bump formed on my head, and I was just like, this is just weird. Like that shit just doesn't happen. So I told him about that, and he was just like, no, like people say that's what happens, but that doesn't happen. People just say that happens, but it doesn't happen. I'm just like, it happened though. And he was just like, no, it didn't happen. I'm just like, it happened though. And he was just like, no, that doesn't happen. Like people say, oh, my head, it feels like tense, it feels like, I don't know, it comes up with a whole bunch of different random words that people use, and I'm just like, okay, that's them and that's me. For me, it was just like, when I know something is wrong with me, I like to go to the doctor to make sure everything is okay, because I don't want to die early. I'm 22, still young and fresh and poppin', so I just want to continue that. But just having the doctor just say, oh, like, no, that's not true. Like, people say that all the time, and you're okay. You don't have a headache. It's whatever. So I actually had to go on my phone and pull out the photo of me with, like, a bump on my forehead. I'll attach it somewhere over here or whatever the case is. And this is the photo that I showed him in order for him to basically give me a referral to get MRI. So, the week after I go to get the MRI done, at like some random place, it was really ghetto and ratchet. I looked at the results and I was like, no, I think I'm just gonna go home. But I was like, you know what, let me go. So I go, and then after that I go to work and I get a call from the doctor. The same doctor. He was just like, oh, it looks like there's something in your head. Like the same place where you said you were getting your headaches. Yeah, like there's a tumor in your brain. And I'm just like, what? Like I was there's so many different feelings. I was like, I knew, like I felt like it was a tumor, but I was just like, nah, it can't be. Like, nah, me? Nah, 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 nah. But got to a certain point, he just was telling me about it. He was just like, yeah, it's really small. It's exactly where you had the bump on your forehead, the same exact spot where my headache was coming from. That's where the tumor was. And I was just like, wow, it's crazy how much people know their body. Yeah, you know? At the end of the day, this video is for people who are going through the same thing or going through something similar and they just need an extra voice of like leadership or help or like some type of support to know that what you're feeling is accurate and how you feel is very important and should be checked out, especially if you do not feel okay. And if you're a person who is constantly feeling okay and then something like this happens to you, you just need to learn how to speak up for yourself, especially being a black woman in America. Doctors are continuously going to shut you down and tell you that you're going crazy. I'm like, what would have happened if I never showed him that photo or I never like said anything and I just walked out after he said, okay, it's whatever, like it's probably a headache or whatever the case was. I would have still been sitting there with a tumor in my head and headaches getting crazy. He called me and he told me that it was a tumor and I was just like, well shit. So then I went back to work and I just started to like freak out. Like I didn't talk to anybody. I wasn't speaking to anybody. Like my managers were just looking at me like, why is she crying? And you know I'm a fucking crybaby, so of course I was crying at work. So after that happened, he directed me to an actual neurologist, so the person who would actually have to like cut my brain, my head open and start give a mess. He said I would have to get another MRI done because the MRI that I did previously didn't have the contrast, and the contrast is something that's supposed to allow you to see like different aspects of the brain and what's moving and what's doing whatever at a certain point in time. So I had to wait for my insurance. Also, my insurance is also fucking trash, so if you have any questions about that, let me know. I got the second MRI done and sent it to the new neurologist that I went to, and he was just like, yeah, we're gonna have a meeting, you can come to me, this, that, and the third. This was early March, mind you. We're still going through COVID, so this is all happening. So I went to visit him. I went by myself, which is one of the most stupidest things I could have ever done. If I've done anything throughout this experience, I know that I will never go to the doctor's office, especially when I know I'm getting like results for something that has to do with a tumor. Like, why are you going by yourself? So I went by myself and it was like the freakiest fucking moment I ever had in my life. Like I thought like that moment like I was gonna die. Like I sat there and I was just like, huh? So he basically told me everything that I needed to know. I did not retain much information. The first thing that he told me is that the tumor was on the left side of my head, so the same area where my head was hurting me. It was really small. They don't know when it got there. Tumors apparently just like a pear or whatever the case is. So that happened, and he said I would have to have brain surgery. I forget the name, I'll put it here maybe eventually, maybe not. So he told me he would have to cut open my head, that it's right near my voice and speech. So I might not be able to like speak properly after the surgery is done. So that it was just so much information. So he told me that I would have to cut my head. He would have to cut my head. He would have to go in, get as much of the tumor as possible out in order for me to like just not have headaches anymore and just be a normal person. And the plot twist, I was just like, okay, like tumors, whatever. Like I haven't been through like a shit ton of surgeries, but I've been through lots of like surgeries where I had to stay up, like tooth surgeries or like eyelid surgeries, y'all. A mess. And he said I would have to stay up because it is by my voice and my speech. So they needed to make sure that I was able to speak after the surgery ended. So he said that during the surgery, they would wake me up for about maybe an hour or whatever the case is, and they would ask me different questions about like who I am, what's my name, what's something that I like to do, and I was just like, y'all gonna cut my brain open, and y'all go have me stay up, and I have to be talking to you while like, what? So I'm sitting here and I'm literally like, I've never passed out a day in my life, but I was like, that's the day I'm gonna pass out. My body was drenched, my butthole was sweating, my vagina, everything. That was too much, I'm sorry, but like my entire body just felt like, I don't know, everything was just off, and my entire head, like the whole entire surface of it just started to like explode. Like it just started, I don't even know like the words to use, but I felt like that was the moment where like I was never gonna see anything ever again. And after that moment I left. I'll call my mom because she works in Manhattan and the hospital was in Manhattan. So we did all of that, and I called her and I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. And then I also had an audition that day, and I met my friend, and then I told my friend, and then I was going crazy in the bath. It was just a mess, but she was really helpful, and I'm so happy that I told her because she was very helpful throughout the entire experience. My schedule, they said they would schedule my surgery for March 26th or 25th or whatever the case was. So the mayor was just like all unessential surgeries would be postponed because of COVID-19. And I said, huh? What do you mean? What do you mean all unessential surgeries would be canceled? And I'm just like, yeah, no, there's a tumor in my brain. They're gonna get me out. They're gonna get this tumor out my head. And they called me, and of course I was already going crazy because of COVID, because I don't like getting sick. I don't like any of this shit. So everything was just a mess, and I was just sitting down like depressed as fuck, like sad every single day. I probably cried so many times, like y'all don't even know. I was in the shower crying. Y'all know that shower cry, the best shower cry ever. I called the doctor. He was just like, yeah, just so you know, COVID is happening, so we're going to have to cancel your appointment. There are things happening. Everyone is dying. There are thousands of people dying every day. And I'm just like, yeah, I get it, but like, get it out my head. And like the hospital that I was going to, they were the first hospital to like have like the COVID test, so everyone was going to them. So everyone who was going through the entrance, all of them had COVID. And they're just like, yeah, we're not going to do your surgery unless something insane happens. I never had anything insane. It was just the headaches that were like really pissing me off and that were just irritating. Imagine having a headache every single fucking day. And he told me, oh, if you happen to have a seizure, like let us know and we'll try to get your surgery done. And I'm just like, what the fuck you mean we're gonna try to get your surgery done? My nigga, what? He wasn't even black. I was just like, wow. Yeah. I was like, okay, so now I have to wait. First I was freaking out because I only had to wait 2 weeks to have the surgery. So every day I cried. I was just like, I just want to get it out. Like, I'm tired. I don't want to have this in my head anymore. I don't want this at all. And then after he told me that, I was just like, fuck. What am I gonna do? They're like, wait till you have a seizure or wait till something like insane happens and then we can try to work something out. And I'm just like, I want to work this shit out now. I'm not waiting. So I had no other choice, and I waited and I waited and I waited and I waited. And now we're in May, and I got my surgery done 2 weeks ago. And as you can see, I'm feeling fresh and fly or whatever. April, May, yeah, so about like 2 months and like almost, yeah, basically 2 months. I'm gonna just say 2 months, fuck it. So throughout April, I was contacting different doctors, trying to see if anybody would take me, trying to see if anyone would just like take this information and see what would happen. Trying to go to different hospitals, like hospitals that like focused more on like tumors and like things of that nature. So I did that, and I contacted this one doctor. His name is Theodore Schwartz, and he works for the New York Presbyterian Hospital in Manhattan on York Avenue. That was so much information that was so unnecessary. I had like the CDs from the MRI, so I sent all of those to him, and he was really nice. I talked to him via the phone, and he told me the same exact thing, that I would have to do surgery to get it out. Same exact thing, I would have to stay up because it was so close to my voice and my speech. So I was just like, okay, it was whatever. And I basically only went to him just to get a second opinion, just to make sure that I actually needed to get this stuff done. So yeah, I went to him, and he was just so helpful. He was really nice. He gave me his phone number. The other doctor also gave me his phone number, but he never called me. He didn't call me not one time. I was just like, I need help. Like, help me. I'm freaking out. But Theodore Schwartz, he called me maybe, I don't want to say every week. Maybe it was like once every 2 weeks to make sure that I was doing okay. And it was like during COVID, everyone's going through so many different things. The fact that that doctor took the time out of his day to call me and to make sure that I was doing okay, that meant, oh, someone's came to the door. Turn the shit off. That just meant so much to me, because I'm just like, you didn't have to do that. Everyone's going through so much stuff during COVID, so thank you so fucking much for like checking up on me and making sure that I was doing okay, because I wasn't. But he was very helpful. He was just like, yeah, like, I'm a great doctor, I'm whatever. I'm actually going to post a video of him because I saw it on the news and I was like, oh, he's on the news, he's gonna cut my head open, hopefully everything works out. So during this time, if you are going through something similar or you're going through some type of pain, I used a couple of things. So I used peppermint oil, like a small little container of peppermint oil, and I used to sniff that every day, and that made my whole body just calm down. I don't have anxiety pills, but if you have anxiety pills, pop them. Don't pop them, but like if you need them, take them, you know what I mean? And I had cool patches that I used on my head to cool my head down and just to calm me down, to make me feel good. And I also had like other type of oils that would spread into the air that just made everything beautiful and amazing. And I also had like this anxiety cool patch that I sprayed in my mouth 3 times a day, 4 hours, every 4 hours. And that was really helpful. It calmed me down and I just felt so good. I also didn't tell none of my friends, which I don't know if that helped me or not, but like it got to a certain point where like I know I told one person and they started going crazy and they just didn't want me to die, and it was just a whole bunch of mess. And I was like, yeah, like I'm not gonna tell nobody else after this. Like I'll let people know after it ends, and hopefully I'm okay afterwards and I'm good for now. So this is what this video is about, so I don't have to sit down and explain to the whatever gazillion people about what happened. They could just watch this video. So I waited and waited and waited until the first hospital that I went to hit me up, and they were just like, yeah, May 5th would be your date for the surgery. And I was like, okay, lit. Like I didn't know it was like that. Like nobody hit me up, the doctors didn't hit me up, nobody hit me up. They just had like the application. They were just like, oh, here's all this information, so you're gonna have to take a COVID test, you're gonna have to do the blood test, the urine test, the whatever test. I was like, okay, whatever, let's do it. Like I don't care. I was like, yeah, as soon as possible, like get this shit out my head, like I want it gone. And like in the back of my head is just like, fuck, like I still want to work with Dr. Schwartz. So I called the hospital. They said, sorry, we can't do anything. And I was like, fuck. And then my mom called. They were just like, yeah, we can get you in for the 6th. And I'm just like, bitch, how? I just called. How all of a sudden you can get me in on the 6th after I just called and you say you couldn't get me until whenever? So I actually did all the tests for the first hospital that I went to. So I did the COVID test, I did the whatever test. The COVID test wasn't that bad the first time. They shoved it in my nose. I was like, oh shit, it burns. Because I took it before in early March when things weren't that popping in New York. Also, I'm from New York. We have the most cases of COVID than any other country in the entire world. So that is that. Did all of that. I was just like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to tell that hospital that I'm not going to do the surgery with them anymore. I'm going to use all this information and use it for the new doctor. But they didn't take none of that shit, so I had to do everything all over again. So I did more blood work, I did more urine, I did a whole bunch of other stuff, and I did another COVID test. Bitch. the lady put the COVID stick so far up my nose. I said, do you want me to die? Bitch. I didn't have COVID. Let's get it. I have not been going outside at all because I'm like, I'm not getting sick. It's not happening. So, the day of the surgery, May 6th, I went in, and because of COVID, I wasn't allowed to have any visitors or anybody come see me or like just be with me in the hospital during that time. So like that was also another thing. I was just like, if something happens, like, is anyone gonna be able to say bye to me or whatever the case is going to be? That was something that was freaking me out, and I was just like, fuck, like I'm just gonna have to be in this hospital by myself. And I was so sad. My dad came, and he dropped me to the hospital, and then my mom sneaked up upstairs and stuff, so that was nice, and she stayed with me the entire time until I actually had to go into the room. And I walked into the room, and like that was it. Like, they knocked me out. I was just like, what is happening? I didn't say what is happening, of course, because I was not. But they woke me up, and I remember everything. But I know they asked me my name. They asked me what's my address, where I'm from, what school I went to, what degree I have. They asked me who's my favorite celebrity, and of course I said Beyonce, because that's my girl. Beehive, let's go. Hey. So Beyonce basically saved my fucking life, and she doesn't even fucking know. I also remembered that I was shaking throughout the process. Like, my entire body was just like shaking. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just so nervous. I'm just so nervous. And then I woke up in the recovery room. I think that's what it's called. They had a catheter in me. I was like, yo, I gotta pee. I don't think this catheter is in properly. They was like, no, the catheter's in, just go pee. And I peed all over my pants. TMI, but just information I thought I would like to share. I got out on Saturday, so I stayed in the hospital. I'll like post videos and like other random stuff. So I'm gonna like sing the song while the videos are playing so you guys could like see it. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Turn right now.
Ghetto. So yeah, this is my second week out of surgery, and I'm feeling so good. When I first woke up, like I was talking, like I made videos, I was sending it to my friends just to make sure that they knew that I was okay and I was breathing and I was alive. So that was good. I was so fucking nervous. Y'all don't even understand. Oh man. But after all that was done, I was just so happy that I was talking, I was breathing, I was walking, I was able to like count and do like random stuff. I remember when I was in one of the rooms, a lady came and she was just asking me a bunch of questions, like my name, my address, a whole bunch of random stuff. And she was like, count down by 7 and start from 100. And I was just like, bitch, what? I was like, I went to school for entertainment and that was all, so don't ask me questions like that. And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this referral note so you can do physical therapy. I'm just like, bitch, I'm just dumb. My parents came to pick me up and I was just so grateful because I was walking, I was speaking, I was talking, all these things that could have happened, it just didn't happen. I was able to remember the majority of things. There were of course like lots of complications after surgery, but it's something that was going to happen regardless or not, whatever the case was. But Dr. Schwartz did an amazing job. I'm feeling good. The majority of my headaches are gone, but it's still there because there's a large cut on my forehead. Is this it? Here it goes. You can see a little bit over here. I don't really want to show y'all because it's a little weird or whatever. I got into the hospital on Tuesday and I came back home on Saturday. It was the day before Mother's Day, which was nice. I was just happy that I had the opportunity to spend time with my mom on Mother's Day, even though she was taking care of me, and I still owe her a gift. Still owe her a gift right now, but COVID, broke, don't have a job, so hire me, actress, performer, whatever the case may be. After I came back home, it was very hard for me to move. sometimes my body would just like flop. They said because it was the left side of my head, that side of your brain controls the right side of your body. So they said that my right side, my left foot, or whatever the case was, might be a little weird, or whatever the case was, and it definitely was. But it was actually the left side of my body that was actually going a little bit crazy. Like my left side, still to this day, it still hurts. It's still weird. And I know I can't walk as fast as I want to. I can't run. I can't do certain things. I just know it's something that I need to take time to do, which is, I'm grateful for it. Like, I'm breathing, I'm talking. There's so many things that could have went wrong that didn't. And I have to say, like, after all this, I just know that I'm an extremely blessed person. So many people sent me gifts and, like cupcake. It was just, I don't know. People just sent, like, amazing things. And I was just like, y'all didn't have to do that. Like, y'all really didn't have to do that. But I was so grateful for it, and if you want to send me a gift, let me know. Hey. And I just found so much more comfort and support in my friends that I have not found in any other source, in any other force of anything. So it's just nice that this experience has allowed me to just become way closer to other parts of my family, especially my dad's side, because I live with my mom and all of her family members. So just knowing that all of them called me to make sure I was doing okay. Everyone called me and texted me to make sure that I was doing fine. I was just like, I haven't ever spoken to you a day in my life, but I was grateful for it. I was happy, because I love family, and I haven't really like gotten a chance to meet with them, which was nice. If you're ever experiencing anything like this, hit me up, Michaela.com. Boom, here we go. Or you can follow me on Instagram. If you hit me up, I'll probably just follow you back, because Instagram is fucking Instagram. If you have any questions, if you're young, and if you are young like me, 22, and have brain tumor or whatever the case is, like, let me know, like, so we could have conversations, because I'm just curious as to know, I'm just curious to know what other young people are, like, how young people are dealing with stuff like this, because I feel like it's the first time that something so extreme has happened to me. Like, this just doesn't happen. So I'm just very grateful that I just have all these people here to support me. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching this video and learning a little bit about me.